Tagore's sculpture joins his friend and collaborator Patrick Geddes' bust in these absolutely beautiful gardens located right in the heart of the city of Edinburgh, symbolising their friendship and association. Together, they embody the message of cooperation and human sympathy, which are so relevant in today's world and for all times. Now, Tagore's universal humanism and sense of interconnectedness are best expressed in his recognition of the sustaining power of our precious planet in his poem Parting Words. There can be no doubt of Tagore's impacts upon the cities of Kolkata and Edinburgh, our current social challenges and our wider civil society. And I am very honoured to be invited jointly to unveil this statue today. I think it's very well deserved. Thank you.
I shall try and be brief, but I may not, because I don't want to miss out on marking such an auspicious occasion. So, good afternoon, everybody. High Commissioner, Lord Provost, ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed guest, and also lots of children. And it's lovely to see the children here today in this wonderful place on such an occasion. So, welcome to the little ones amongst us as well. I am incredibly grateful to be here with you to mark this occasion and to celebrate the life and work of Rabindranath Tagore, and none of this would be possible without the incredible work of the renowned Indian artist Ramvi Suter, who crafted the bust, the Scottish Centre for Tagore Studies, and the Consulate General of India, who of course organised this event, and the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, who honour us and our shared cultural heritage by gifting this bust to the people of Scotland. This bust, of course, not only celebrates the great Bengali poet, philosopher and educator, but also serves as a beautiful reminder of the living bridge connecting Scotland and India. It is my hope that this bust will further inspire intellectual and cultural connections between our two countries. And as has been mentioned, as the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, Tagore's writings transcended national borders and ideological boundaries. At a time when the world was embracing industrial modernity, Tagore advocated for ecological harmony, warning of the potential alienating effects on humans and nature, a man indeed ahead of his time. Through his verse and prose, he championed a way of life rooted in reverence and balance with the natural world. For Tagore, nature was not just a resource, or not a resource to be exploited, but a sacred presence that sustains life and nourishes the human spirit. I look ahead with hope to a continued and strengthened partnership between Scotland and India, united in addressing climate change and preserving the living richness of our world. In this time, at the moment of global uncertainty, Tagore's voice continues to offer poetic vision and ethical clarity. Rooted in compassion, critical thinking, and a commitment to global justice, his work and this bust will stand as an important reminder of our duty as good global citizens to do all we can so that children across the world have it better than we did. When I think of Scotland and India's connections and the life and work of Tagore, I think of his connection to David Hume and Adam Smith, and a shared belief that education must develop not only technical expertise, but moral sensibilities. I think on his long-term friendship, as we are all today, with Sir Patrick Geddes, and it warms my heart to know that they shall sit together in this garden inspiring thinkers from our two countries to continue their legacies, to remind us all that true cultural exchange is not about assimilation or dominance, but about mutual learning and enrichment. So in my closing remarks, I'd like to say that now more than ever, it is vital that democracies work together to grow their economies, strengthen their ties, not only between governments and institutions, but between societies and cultures and people. Bound by our shared values of cooperation, of democracy and equality, our two nations' commitment to peace and justice serves as a powerful reminder that our relationship is not only about mutual beliefs, it is about contributing positively to the world. Truly honouring the work of Tagore and his philosophy, where the world makes a home in a single nest. Visva Bharuti. High Commissioner, Lord Provost, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the life and work of Tagore, let us honour him by looking to the future and the exciting possibilities that can come from further strengthening relationships between our nations. And I will leave you with a few lines from his poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear, as it speaks to the hope of our two nations share for a more connected world. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Thank you.
Today, as has been covered much more eloquently by the previous speakers than I would be able to do, we gather to celebrate the life and legacy of one of India's most remarkable figures, Rabindranath Tagore. This statue is not only a tribute to the literary and philosophical giant, thank you, that's all right, I'm kind of in between everybody else, maybe, so not easy, but also a powerful symbol of the shared values and enduring ties between India and the UK and between India and Scotland. A towering intellect and visionary, Tagore was a true holy man, a pioneer of Bengali literature, passionate educator, a composer, a poet, and, as we've heard so eloquently, a champion of global humanism. This beautifully sculpted bust, which I can't wait to see, and I'm sorry that I'm keeping you off from it, stands as a tribute to Tagore's remarkable contributions. As has already been acknowledged, its placement in this garden facing the bust of one of Scotland's own pioneering sons, Sir Patrick Geddes, is a profoundly moving gesture. It reunites two great thinkers and close friends who shared deep commitments to education, ecological awareness, and the belief that humanity is at its best when we learn across cultures. I hope that this space becomes a place for reflection and inspiration for students, academics, local residents and visitors alike, serving as a lasting reminder of the importance of curiosity, creativity and cultural dialogue. The links between our countries are long-standing and deeply rooted, historically, culturally and socially. From educational exchanges to growing economic cooperation and our long-standing mutual love of cricket, albeit perhaps more down south than here. The UK-India relationship continues to evolve. The recent signing of the UK-India trade deal highlights this deepening partnership. We are proud of the strong educational links between Scotland and India. Thousands of Indian students choose to study at Scottish universities each year, bringing fresh perspectives, energy and talent to our academic communities. The UK government deeply values our relationship with India, and the Scotland Office is committed to supporting this through Brand Scotland, a long-term international trade and investment initiative. It is our commitment to promoting Scotland's world-class industries and forging new partnerships globally. Finally, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to the Indian Consulate, the Indian High Commission and the Scottish Centre of Tagore Studies for bringing us together to celebrate this special occasion It really is a pleasure to be here. I look forward to speaking with many of you this afternoon and to continuing to build on the friendship between India and Scotland. Thank you very much.
Now we come to the main event for which we have gathered. I kindly request both the Lord Provost as well as the High Commissioner to come on here.
The Right Honourable Lord Provost of Edinburgh, Councillor Ulrich, Your Excellency, Mr. Doraiswami, High Commissioner of India, dignitaries, and our distinguished guests, good afternoon. Thank you all for coming today for what is an event of international significance. I would like to share with you the journey that the Scottish Centre of Tagore Studies, ScoTs as we affectionately call it, has made and the purpose of our centre. In 2011, when the Government of India took on the responsibility of celebrating Rabindranath Tagore's 150th birth anniversary globally, we decided to establish ScoTs at Edinburgh University and applied to the Ministry of Culture in India for a modest sum of money to build a website that would be a hub for Tagore studies and establish a journal, Gitanjali and Beyond, an international journal, both academic and creative. An article came out in one of the Indian national newspapers asking where was there a Scot in Rabindranath Tagore. A similar question has been raised here in Scotland, as I have been asked, did Rabindranath Tagore travel to Scotland? He didn't. But I would like to pose a question to you. Do all artists and writers of great fame have to leave their nations and travel across the world to be recognized and commemorated there? I give two examples. Shakespeare, whom we all love and read, across the world, and Leonardo da Vinci, whose aesthetic significance we cannot deny and be inspired by, yet neither of them traveled across the world. So they were Renaissance figures, as was Rabindranath Tagore, and as was Patrick Geddes. So Rabindranath, as a Renaissance man, his writing, ideas and philosophy resonate with us across the world, define nation-state boundaries and borders of the mind, and they did not travel beyond their respective countries like Shakespeare and Da Vinci, but Rabindranath did go to 34 countries, as has already been said. And at ScoTs, we celebrate and build on Tagore's close friendship with the Scottish polymath Patrick Geddes, also a Renaissance figure, benefiting from their shared ideas and work in education and the environment as they embody a close socio-cultural link between Scotland and India. Patrick Geddes travelled to India in 1914, turning his back on the war in Europe. Until 1924, he spent the cooler months in India providing plans for urban spaces and teaching civics and sociology at the University of Bombay. On Rabindranath's request, Patrick Geddes provided the plans for Vishwabharati, his international university at Shantiniketan. And Geddes's geographer son, Arthur Geddes, spent 2 years teaching at the Rural Reconstruction Center at Sriniketan, the sister institution of Shantiniketan. When my parents met Arthur Geddes at the London School of Economics in 1961 during the centenary celebrations of Rabindranath, Arthur spoke to them in perfect Bengali. Arthur brought his own ideas of universities being in touch, or Rabindranath's ideas of universities being in touch and working with the hinterland from Shantiniketan to his geographer's position at the University of Edinburgh. There is another link of Edinburgh which has been mentioned with the Tagore family, as Rabindranath Tagore, Rabindranath's grandfather, was awarded the freedom of the city of Edinburgh in 1842. And Rabindranath's gift of the Ragamala paintings are now with the University of Edinburgh, which also holds the Tagore collection, gifted by Professor Indranath Chaudhary, Dr. William Radiche, and my father, Professor Bimalendu Bhattacharya. Needless to say, we did not get the funding from the Indian Ministry of Culture. But the then Director General of the ICCR, Mr. Suresh Goyal, understood our vision and objective and granted us a Tagore Chair in Professor Indranath Chaudhary and 2 senior research fellowships through a Memorandum of Understanding signed in November 2011. And I was able to write my critical, comprehensive biography of Rabindranath Tagore, which you should all read, with the prestigious International ICCR Fellowship. We did obtain funding from the Binks Trust and were able to develop our ScoTs website and the international journal Gitanjali and Beyond, which is going into its 11th issue as I speak. Today, ScoTs is an autonomous charitable trust registered with Oscar and administered by a brilliant board of trustees. Can we give them a round of applause? And has several research affiliates, 2 of whom are with us today, and also memoranda of understanding with various institutions and universities. And we have a representative from PK Foundation here, with whom we have an MOU. At ScoTs, we celebrate, propagate, and build on Tagore's work, ideas, and philosophy. And that of a circle, so it's not just Tagore, which was international. And the foremost and most relevant, as I've already said for us, is Rabindranath's friendship and collaboration with Sir Patrick Geddes. For many years, we have dreamt and have been requesting the Indian consulate to give us a statue of Rabindranath. Once again, the ICCR stepped in to fulfill what was a dream, gifting us the beautiful statue of Rabindranath sculpted by the centenarian Ram Vanji Sutar. He turned 100 this February. Its installation has been managed generously by Benjamin Tyndall Architects. All along this journey, the Indian consulate has been generously supportive and a collaborator with ScoTs. I want to mention 2 former consul generals, Anju Ranjan and PJ Selviraj, and the current Consul General of India, Mr. Siddharth Malik, who have lent their unstinting support to ScoTs. And also with the support of the Scottish Storytelling Centre, Sandeman House and Garden, Scottish Book Trust, the Edinburgh City Council, and the Government of India, we have realised what was once a dream. So like Martin Luther King, I can say I had a dream, but today I can also say it has been realised. Thank you all. I hope Patrick Geddes and Rabindranath Tagore together do not remain just a symbol of Scots, but as a place of pilgrimage, this garden, an inspiration for all of us who want to see Scotland and India, Britain and India, continue a socio-historic bond through mutual understanding and mutual respect. Words of Rabindranath, that both Rabindranath and Geddes embody as internationalists. Today, Rabindranath and Geddes shared ideas of the primacy of forests for the future of human life on Earth will be presented by a talented creative team in a dance drama, Polash, Flame of the Forest. It was sponsored by Scots with funding from Creative Scotland's National Lottery Open Fund and funding from IASH, Edinburgh University, and Edinburgh Napier University as part of the Tagore Geddes Festival held last September. You are going to see an edited version for time constraints. And the theme was, forests are our future. By leaves we live. I would like to now invite Payal Debroy, the narrative scriptwriter of Polash, to introduce the dance drama to you. Thank you very much. It's called old age.
Thank you, Bashawidi. Hello, everybody. Tagore's poetry has always reflected the unity and shared vitality between humans and nature. His work celebrates a continuous dance of existence that we are all a part of. We are not individual forms, but we are all connected as one continuous, living, moving tapestry. Rabindranath Tagore and Patrick Geddes had a vision for the future of this planet, and it was way ahead of their times. And their friendship is indeed a symbol of this vision they shared. That vision was about nurturing and caring for our environment and for each other. And this is so relevant in today's difficult times. I quote words from Geddes himself. How many people think twice about a leaf? Yet the leaf is the chief product and phenomenon of life. This is a green world with animals comparatively few and small, and all dependent upon leaves. By leaves we live. Music needs no language, perhaps a bit like friendship. So today we want to tell you a little story that we have woven together using music and words and thoughts from Robi Tagore and Geddes. This is a story of unlikely love that blossomed within the harmony and balance of the forests. A love that danced under the vast skies, flowed with the streams and whispered through the leaves. So come into our world with us, travel with us as each leaf in our forest comes alive to speak to you. We present very proudly and with lots of love, Polash, Flame of the Forest.
Grass of the forest. The sky full of the sun and stars. The world bursting with the wonder of life. In the midst of it all, I found my place. In the midst of it all, I found my place. Their hearts know not where they go, nor the purpose of their flight. They chase the shadows of a dream through the day and through the night, with desires they cannot define and passions they cannot name. They wander through life's path in search of fleeting fame. O restless hearts forever on the roam, seeking solace in the winds, yet never finding home. Listen to the leaves, for they are restless. Stranger, with eyes, what far-off adventures have brought you here to skies so blue? Did you wander through forests of emerald green, where whispers of ancient tales are told? Or did you sail across oceans, serene and pristine, with waves of sapphire and shores of gold? Did you dance with the stars in the midnight sky, or follow the path of the silvery moon? Stay a while, let your journey rest in this humble abode with hearts so kind. For in your presence we feel truly blessed, a bond of wonder and tales intertwined. But I've heard this song somewhere on my travels. A Scottish-Bengali connection unravels. For no matter where in the world we roam, nature, she speaks in the same sweet, fresh and fair. How can you jump in little birds and I see way full of care? Waves of leaves and flowers. The peacock's feathers fan like a rainbow, shimmering in the golden sun. And in this dance of love's delight,
ঝলকে ঝলকে ঝরিছে বকুল আচল আকাশ
wait, where humans reached with cosmic hands. Stretch my certain arm towards the black skies. Whom do I seek?
A particularly appropriate moment, I think, in our bilateral relationship here, to have a statue of Gurudev Tagore here in Edinburgh, bang in the heart of the city, just off the Royal Mile. I think it's a very meaningful moment for all of us. Gurudev Tagore had a connection here thanks to the remarkable work of the polymath Geddes, who was a personal friend. So it's very appropriate that the two busts are sort of sited within sight of each other. Yeah. Special thanks to the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR, for sending this bust by a very, very eminent artist, Ram Sutar, whose work is here before us. I think you'd find the bust as a wonderful addition to the sort of urban architecture of Edinburgh.
Well, this means so much to all of us. I mean, it's been like a dream for such a long time, and we all celebrate Tagore all the time. Yes. And to have him here in person and also sitting with his friend, Sir Patrick Geddes, in the same courtyard is brilliant.
Absolutely.
And this is amazing because it's a storytelling centre, so it's about stories. And Tagore was all about stories and friendship and unity and the environment. So being in this lovely, green, peaceful environment, I think he'd like it very much.
Brilliant. Anything from you?
Yeah, so being a Bengali, growing up in a Bengali household, it's as close to, it's now home. With Tagore in here in Edinburgh, you feel like you have got back that part of yours where you grew up in childhood, because all you hear every day, more than anything else, is Rabindranath and his creation. So for us, it's a great opportunity to have him here and then to think about our kids growing up and knowing about him and learning his songs and having something here to look up to. So that's amazing for us. When we started in our childhood, we learned it just like anything else. We thought, okay, this is something to learn. And then when you grow old, you learn to appreciate what he has written. You know it with a new meaning, and also in many different aspects in your life, you realize he's my friend. his creations would help me go past this hurdle. And I want exactly the same for my child. I want her to know Rabindranath in a way, maybe now she'll know about him, learn, have a little bit more interest with this bust here. But then I want her to know his creations in a way I know, to help her go through her life at different phases in her life.
Well, there's been a lot of planning, so you forget the highlights. The highlights for me, the dance drama, which I hadn't seen before, which I loved. Just seeing people being together and enjoying Tagore and Geddes in an environment that they were sharing. It's been marvelous. It's been marvelous. Yeah.
It's been a long journey, but it was a dream, and now it has come true in the best possible way. Because we have a statue by India's leading sculptor, Ram Panjay Sutar, presented to the Scottish Centre of Tagore Studies by the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, and all along, ScoTs, as we call the Scottish Centre of Tagore Studies, has been supported by the Consulate General of India, and I have to thank the trustees of ScoTs who have been dedicated, generous, supportive, and just there all the time. And they've been here present in full today. And I think what Geddes and Tagore represent is internationalism, the unity of all things. And they were both peace advocates. They were educationists, environmentalists. And today we were in one of the most beautiful landscaped gardens of Edinburgh, which has been landscaped along Geddesian lines. And we have both the friends. And Tagore, who couldn't come to Edinburgh, is here now. No one can now ask, did Tagore come to Edinburgh? He is in Scotland, he's with us. He's been with us for a long time, through his work, through his philosophy, through his ideas. But today, the two friends are together and they can talk to each other beyond life, as it were. And I hope it'll bring people of the world together with the Scottish community here in the garden, where they can come to as a place of pilgrimage.
Certainly, certainly. Well, ScoTs is an absolutely wonderful organisation initiated by Barshabi here and chaired by Joyce. Now, what it does and what has been absolutely fundamental to it has been not just Tagore, who is, of course, the T in the name, but Geddes. And the whole idea of Geddes and Tagore working together, this wonderful poet and ecologist, Rabindranath Tagore, and this wonderful botanist and ecologist and town planner. And the thing about both Geddes and Tagore is that they are most magnificent polymaths, and they use all the facilities at their disposal to essentially make the world a better place.
For me, and I used to chair the Poetry Library, it means that a world poet is being honoured, and being honoured in a place which I think is very suitable because of the connection with Geddes and environmentalism. I hope it inspires the next generation to realise that the past has been difficult. There have been difficult times, but people have got through them. They've got through them by working together, by respecting one another and respecting the place that they live in. And I hope it inspires the young to realise that Tagore was part of that, and that, the Scottish and the Indian community in Scotland are part of that too. So I can't control the future, but I just hope that the young feel they have the courage and respect for themselves to do the right thing, because the world is in a confused state at the moment, which I'm sure Tagore would have recognised.
Well, Tagore wrote in Undivided India. For me, India is the subcontinent. And Tagore actually met Geddes also in Lahore. And so I can say that Tagore's estates remained in Bangladesh, the Tagore family estates in Shilai Dahor. So he is an Indian subcontinental poet, but I think a great poet, a great writer, a great artist, a great educationist and environmentalist, it should not be confined to where they came from.
Yeah.
They need to be shared, and this is what ScoTs is trying to do, propagate and share Tagore with the world, because he believed in the world. For him, the world was a platform, and he tried to bring the East and West together in no uncertain terms through understanding and, as Joyce said, cooperation, and as Murdo has already said, through Geddes' synergy and peace, basically.
Well, I think the main thing is encouraging academics to come over from India, work in Edinburgh, and look at Geddes and Tagore together. And at the moment, we have just one such academic, Payal Mukherjee, doing precisely that. Right. And she's doing it in a brilliant way, and we hope she'll write a book on Geddes and Tagore. And from my perspective, whenever I think of Tagore, I can't help thinking about Geddes. And when I think about what Geddes says, it very often turns out to be very like a Tagore poem. I mean, Geddes said, by creating we think, by living we learn, and by leaves we live. And it's just pure Tagore to me.
Today's event is celebrating the friendship, kinship between Geddes and Rabindranath Tagore. And both of them were very keen on the environment and the nature. And similarly, my inclination about the paintings is also around nature. It's friendship and unconditional love that it gives. So that is why the selection of paintings that are here are chosen to represent the environment and nature and bringing together the philosophies of Geddes and Rabindranath Tagore. I generally paint in oil, and it's a really good medium because it gives you the capacity to work on it a bit longer. I also use marble dust and plaster of Paris to bring some texture and depth into the paintings. So yeah, these are mostly about the my memories from India, growing up in the Himalayas, and the untouched beauty. I spent a lot of time in the jungles where my grandparents used to live. So coming in Scotland kind of brings me back to those memories. And what happens is that when I go on walks, I like walking, hiking, doing Munros. So when I go, the feeling of elation that I used to get as a child kind of blends with what I'm observing now. And all that then kind of comes back into my paintings.
It had been a long cherished dream to have a bust, a statue of Tagore in the city of Edinburgh. And after a lot of hard work, a lot of collaborations, a lot of telephone calls, a lot of emails, letters and all, we could identify a place which is absolutely perfect for a person like Rabindranath Tagore. So his bust is unveiled today by the High Commissioner of India, His Excellency Mr. Vikram Doraiswami, and it was well attended by the local Edinburgh community coming from various backgrounds. Of course, people from Bengali origins, but we had the Minister for Equality, we had the members of Parliament attending, members of ScoTs Parliament, and councillors as well. And then we had students coming over from Glasgow and Edinburgh. So it was very encouraging for us to see this kind of response to the initiative taken by the consulate. So ScoTs is a group of enthusiasts about the Tagore studies, and we have been working closely with them whenever we do something with Tagore. So we established a Tagore chair also at one time, and we supported them by providing the bust. So this bust came from India, which was supported by the Indian Council for Cultural Relations and was made by a very renowned sculptor. His name is Mr. Ram Sutar. He has turned 100 today, now very recently. So that is a very kind gesture from the ICCR as well, and then we coordinated and got the bust here, offered it to the ScoTs, and they identified the place. They did the local liaison with the host government, with the city council of Edinburgh, and that's how together we could make this happen. It was not a one-man job. This was a complete collaborative effort that could lead to this day that we just witnessed today.
Akashdeep, Shubhranil, Gaurav,
Rhea.
So from ScoTs, Bashabi Fraser, one fine evening, she just called me, Payal Debroy, who wrote the script, and Tunni, who was the dance director. And she requested me to be the music director, and she said, we have something in our mind. We want to do something called the Tagore Geddes Festival, which will be one of the national festivals of Scotland, because, you have heard Tagore and Geddes, they were friends and stuff. So that's where it all started, and we started working on the script and applied for Creative Scotland. So when the budget came, I knew who are the singers. Apart from me, I just do bathroom singing and chorus, but they are all eminent singers, Rhea, Gaurav and Akashdeep. So that's how we all came together, and we brought some of the other musicians as well, like Harman, Gaurav, Eva was there, who couldn't perform today, and Rick. So we all came together and performed this. We do not have a band, so to say, but we have always performed as parts of different bands like Bong Pipers or Fungus Collective. So we just, handpicked the musicians and came together to do this.
Rhea, I noticed that you sang in English and in the national language as well. So could you tell us your music journey?
My music journey is still on. Yeah, but I've started singing professionally for the last a little over a decade, I would say. And my main talim, or what we say training, has been in Hindustani classical music, and it's still an ongoing thing that's happening. And apart from that, while I was on that journey of mine, I was also exploring other music disciplines or genres. So, and then I got introduced to jazz, like maybe say 6 years back, and that's when I started singing jazz music as well. So I perform mostly jazz and ghazal. So that's what I perform. Those are my specialization. So, and rest it's still a storytelling in process, I think. So yeah.
Excellent. Akashdeep, I saw you was on the lead vocals as well, and I would say you were right at the center. And one of the songs that you performed, I can't remember the name of it, but it was the halfway portion. It was very mesmerizing. It was very touching, and the raga itself was very good. Tell us about your journey of music.
Well, again, my journey is still on, as Rhea said. So I have had the fortune of learning mostly Rabindra Sangeet, along with other forms of, semi-classical Indian music, I would say, from my guru, who is a legendary figure in Kolkata, in Rabindra Sangeet and other forms of music, Shakuntala Das Gupta. Okay. And yeah, I sing Rabindra Sangeet whenever I get the chance to, along with other things like bhajans, old Hindi songs, etc. I am a PhD student in engineering, so nothing to do with music, but yes, I happen to sing as well.
Gaurav, tell us about Rabindra Sangeet itself. Are you specializing in that area, or is this something which you just, as Akashdeep mentioned, you're also training onto it?
So I think, we all agree on one point, that our journey is ongoing, learning each from each other. So I'm a doctor by profession. That's like my main profession. And I've learned music when I was in India. I've got diploma in semi-classical music. It's a branch of music called Nazrul Sangeet, which was promoted by Qazi Nazrul Islam from Bangladesh, based on ragas as well. And then music took a complete halt for almost 10 years when I came to Edinburgh, and medicine took over, like training, going through the journey. And then I met all these lovely musicians a few years back, and we've all reconnected over the same passion for music, singing, learning from each other. And obviously, who doesn't, get inspired by Gurudev? Like, he's our our national poet, our bard of Bengal, bard of India. So we've all sung Rabindranath Tagore in the past, but again, learning from each other, and this has been a wonderful collaboration experience for each of us.
Thank you very much, guys. And
one thing that I just like to add to what I said is, when I was coming to Edinburgh, and he reminded me, thank you, Gaurav. When I was coming to Edinburgh, I thought I would not be singing so much anymore. So I was like, okay, let's record a few songs and maybe it's a stop. But thankfully, there were people like Shubhanilda, Gaurav, and Rhea, and other musicians who played with us, Rikda, that we have a nice community of musicians, friends, and we keep jamming and performing.
And I'm joined by Tanvi and Anuradha, who were the lead performance today as well, and I absolutely adore their performance. What a fantastic performance, first of all. And tell us more about today's performance, yourself.
So it is based on Tagore's song. So Tagore walked very closely with Patrick Geddes, Robert Burns. So they were contemporary poets. So in these dance drama, we brought them together, all three poets and their concepts. As you have seen in one dance, there was like Fule Fule Tole Tole, and it is actually inspired by some Scottish music, which is a folk music, Ye Banks. So that's how Tagore worked on different musics and its tunes, sometimes lyrics too, was inspired. So that one we want to build in our dance drama today. Basically, we performed it in last year in Tagore Geddes Festival. So yeah, it was near at the time of Geddes' birthday, and it was to celebrate both of their works and their contemporary journey together. So that's why we kept it not too much Bengali. Like Tagore is basically from West Bengal. So that's why we wanted to blend this Scottish flavor and the Indian and Bengali flavor together. So what you have seen today is kind of, we needed to cut short because of our time constraint. So it was a bit lengthy. We had few more features too, and when you saw the stormy things were there. That one was a bit longer, and we had some other people too who joined us in walking to give some different flavor of the destruction and these things. So those things we needed to sacrifice today.
So that was actually mixed form. So basically there are a bit of classical as well, so Bharatnatyam, there is a Kathak, and a bit of Rabindranath Sangeet. So that is is coming from Rabindranath Tagore, so who wrote all the songs, and usually in West Bengal or in Bengal, we perform in the Rabindranath Sangeet. So that is a form which is mixed form, mixed classical, contemporary, and so that's we have used here, because that is a main form we use in Rabindranath Sangeet, in the Rabindranath Tagore song. So that's the form we have used, and also we had to we had to engage our audience as well, so they shouldn't get bored. So that's why little of variations are there. So that's why we had to do it. And she is our dance director, so she thought, yeah, we should bring some variations in our dance as well. And the music, because usually the dance drama or the Rabindranath Sangeets are played in a different instruments, and so but today we have actually brought different instruments as well, and so bring some variations as well, so for the audience.
So I was lucky enough to get this venue to display some of my photographs. I have been a mad documentary photographer of my own accord for the last 35 years. Since I stepped into Scotland, one of the most consistent things I do is to photograph and write stories of the Asian community, be it the southernmost part of Dumfries or the northernmost part. I've traveled everywhere, mainly to record. And I get fascinated by stories of resilience, stories of hard work, stories of success, and just the sheer variety of the type of people, A lot of people think Asians are Asians, but they don't realize they're from 4,000-mile radius. They speak 25, 30 languages. Nobody realizes that. So my job is to explore all that. How people integrate, how people celebrate being in Scotland, how they celebrate their own culture, how they imbibe Scottish culture. That's my buzz. I'm self-taught guitarist. I've been lucky to play with lots of superstars. I've played with Jagjit Singh Ji, I've played with Manna Dey, lots, Kavita Krishnamurti, lots. But I played just by ear, so I'm very glad that, although I'm not from Bengal, I'm from Rajasthan, I'm very glad that Bengalis have taken me in their fold and they always involve me in their activities.